What's up, everyone? Last week we saw Halloween Ends. So, Aiden, what's the plot of Halloween Ends?
Halloween Ends picks up a few years after the previous film, Halloween Kills. Laurie has just decided to stop being scared of Michael Myers and lives a normalish life with her granddaughter after her daughter and everyone else died. They dick around for a while, and her granddaughter gets a new boyfriend who is a guy who accidentally killed a child one Halloween night and has been ostracized for it. And then he finds Michael Myers living in a sewer, and antics ensue. God, what do you think of Halloween Ends?
I really liked Halloween Ends. I don't know if it was good, but I enjoyed my time. I thought it was wacky fun. The idea to have a weakened Michael do a buddy cop movie with Corey Cunningham, the new slasher, the new main slasher of the movie, who kind of takes over the Michael Myers mask, that takes over the mask, becomes the new shape. It was kind of a fun idea, and it leads to allowing further sequels while still retiring the Michael Myers character. I thought it was wacky, the idea that Michael Myers could essentially, just like his evil essence, be transferred to anybody who has a tragic backstory.
He made a friend.
He made a friend. And the kills were top notch, probably the best kills in the Halloween series, at least this timeline, like the previous two movies. The kills were really fun in this. Everybody who got killed, pretty much, you were rooting for their death, which is something of like more of a Friday the 13th trait, I feel like.
Yeah.
Not always in Friday the 13th. There's some characters you're sympathetic for, but they definitely villainize the people who get killed more. This movie definitely villainizes everyone that gets killed.
Yeah.
Because you got the creepy scumbag who wants to bang Allison. You have the kids who are assholes. You have the radio DJ who's an asshole. And you have Harvey Weinstein and his lover who are assholes. And yeah, it's a lot of fun to watch them get killed in new and brutal ways. There's some callbacks, like the girl gets killed a lot, like I want to say Steve from the first movie, where she gets lifted up by Michael and stabbed. But it's a lot less about Michael and more about the legacy of his evil.
Yeah, Michael's
which is interesting.
Yeah.
I can see how this would be decisive or just downright hated by the core Halloween fan base, and it is, and critics, and it is. But I personally had a lot of fun with it. I thought it was well shot. I thought the kills were fun. You kind of are rooting for Corey, but you're also like, this guy's fucking crazy. And you kind of feel bad for Corey, but you can see how he kind of snapped into becoming the killer he does, and there's almost a possession aspect to it. It's kind of cool, and I had a lot of fun watching it, even though it's just a wacky camp fest. If I did have any complaints, I do think Laurie kind of took a 180 from the character she had in Halloween
Yeah,
Kills and Halloween. You know, Halloween is in 2018.
Yeah, she's
To
completely
more of a
different character.
to more of a passive character than before. You would almost think after the events of Halloween Kills she would be more crazy. But you know what? It's fine. Even though, you know.
It's a bit of a jarring jump that the last movie ends on her daughter getting murdered by Michael Myers, and then she's like, "Hey, you know what? I'm not scared anymore. It's fine." It's like, okay, lady.
It almost feels like a progression that should have happened at the end of the movie, after she kills Michael Myers, where she has a realization that she can't let evil control her life any longer, and that she finally has nothing to fear, or something of an arc that happens in this movie. So as a trilogy, it doesn't really work, but Halloween Kills was a fucking awful movie. Halloween was not great either. I mean, it's fine. But I really liked Halloween Ends. It's probably my favorite of the trilogy just because it's wacky, weird, fun. And it doesn't go totally bananas like Halloween Kills, which went totally bananas in the worst way possible. It goes totally bananas in a route that I find works. And yeah, the kills were really fun. Everything was pretty fun about it, so I had a good time. So Aiden, what did you think of Halloween Ends?
It's a bad movie that I like. It's fun. It's weird. And you know, there's a lot of aspects going on. I think pretty much from you know, you got the build up. The opening scene is cool, and then you got the build up. And then Corey's thrown off a bridge and finds Michael Myers in a sewer living with a hobo, as like a callback to Halloween 5, I guess. And pretty much from there, like, Michael Myers and him like soul bond through the eyes, and they like see each other's past, and it's like, this is so weird. And then like, at first Corey just kills people accidentally, like the hobo tries to stab him and he stabs the hobo. And then like 4 scenes later he's like, you know, I'm just gonna go around fucking killing people. It's really fucking stupid, but in a fun way, where it's just like, I don't know, it's just fucking goofy. And I don't know if the movie was going for goofy necessarily. It takes itself very seriously sometimes, but other times it's like transparently goofy. So I don't know. It's hard to tell. It bounces back and forth tonally quite a bit, which is jarring. I think like Michael Myers Makes a Friend is a hilarious movie concept, and the few times that they're together, it works really well. Michael Myers gets sidelined a lot, which I'm fine with. I don't really care. They kind of just tack him on at the very end of the movie. I don't know. It doesn't feel like that was their original plan, because he just like shows up after being absent most of the movie, and then he gets killed. The whole like ending, the ending's kind of a hilarious disaster, with like this prolonged fight scene between ancient Jamie Lee Curtis and Michael Myers, and she's like dropping things on his head, and like anvils on his head, and squishing his feet with the refrigerator like a Tom and Jerry cartoon. And then it just swaps over to being like completely grotesque when they're like chopping his fucking wrists and stuff. And then at the end they throw him into the big fucking car crusher thing and he explodes. It's hilarious. And they have like a parade with his body through town, and it's like, just, it's a riot. It's really fucking strange and funny. And them having Michael Myers kill Corey after the whole thing with him is kind of anticlimactic. Like, he stabs himself in the throat and makes it look like Laurie killed him, and then
Even though he's in the Michael Myers suit, Michael Myers mask right next to him.
something no one would ever fall for, because he's dressed like Michael Myers and all this. But then, like, immediately after, her granddaughter's like, actually, I believe you that you didn't kill him. And then Michael Myers shows up and kills him because he wasn't actually dead. And then they kill Michael Myers. Like, it just gets wrapped up too cleanly. And, like, I mean, I guess that is part of the title. It's called Halloween Ends. And, you know, You know, the final shot of everyone just being at peace in Haddonfield is kind of nice, but I don't know. It's all over the place. It's still well shot. The kills are good. It's much better written than the last one. It's fun. It's not good, I don't think. There's definitely aspects of it that are legitimately good, and there's a lot of aspects that are just like bizarre. Yeah, it's an unhinged movie in all the best ways. It has a really good idea that if they didn't make this an ending, could have led the series down a new and interesting route, but I guess that's over with for the next reboot that'll come out in 5 years. It's a lot of things. It's many things, but fun is at the top of the list. Connor, would you recommend Halloween Ends?
To some people, you gotta kind of look at this as like a goofy slasher, and not really. You have to be also you have to be fine with the fact that this is a Halloween movie that barely features Michael Myers, and when it does, it's a pretty demasculated Michael. It's a different route for the series and an interesting place to end the series. It almost feels like there should have been another movie after Halloween Kills that...
It almost feels like this should have been the first movie in a trilogy about this instead of the last movie in a trilogy that was not about this.
Yeah, it kind of almost begs the question, if they continue within this timeline, are they going to... This almost feels like the beginning of the second trilogy and the ending of the first. It's
It was
weird.
more like the beginning of one than the ending of the first.
Yeah. So it's weird, but I liked the movie. I don't know if I'd recommend it, but I liked the movie. Aiden, would you recommend the movie?
Yeah. It's a fun Halloween movie. Halloween the season, not necessarily the series, but it's fun, it's goofy, it's got good kills. It doesn't drag. I was some kind of emotion throughout the whole thing, mostly laughing. It's fun. It never really lets up. It's enjoyable. Easy recommend for me, I think.